Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. So far we have learned the 4 Anuvakas of Taittiriya Upanishad, and now we are in the 5th Anuvaka. In this Anuvaka, the 3 Vyahriti have been explained, and the Shankara Bhashya also explains how the Vyahriti are to be understood by everyone. And basically these are for Upasana, and that's why these Vyahriti need to be understood thoroughly. While explaining the connection of the Vyahriti, Shankara Bhashya says, Samhita Vishayam Upasanam Uktam. That means in the previous Anuvaka, Samhita Vishayam Upasanam Uktam. So we had seen that in the previous Anuvaka, the Mahasamhita has been explained. So Mahasamhita is Upasana. Samhita Vishayam Upasanam Uktam. That means how a person should contemplate on such kind of Mahasamhita at the 5 levels. So that has been explained. Tad Anu. And following that, Medha Kamasya Shri Kamasya Mantraha Anukrantaha. And the mantras, various mantra incantations regarding Medha Kama and Shri Kama. That means for a person who desires intellect, for the person who desires wealth, various mantras have been given in the previous Anuvaka. Techa Parampariyena Vidyopayogartha Eva. Now we have to understand that all the mantras are ultimately for this Vidya Upayoga. That means for the basic application of Vidya or knowledge. So whether it is Medha, whether it is Dhi, Buddhi, or whether it is Dhana, Shri, so all these are for Vidya Upayoga. That means how a person utilizes, how a person employs his knowledge. Parampariyana, and this also successively or gradually. Anantaram Vyahriti Atmanaha Brahmanaha Antarupasanam Swarajya Phalam Prastuyate. And after that, this Upanishad presents before us the Upasana of Brahman, who is of the form of Vyahriti. Vyahriti means utterance. And what is the purpose of this contemplation, this Upasana, Vyahriti Upasana? It is Swarajya Phalam. That means it is for the benefit of attaining the Swarajya. Swarajya, when dissolved, means Swar Rajya. Swar means that kind of highest bliss, and Rajya means the radiance, the brightness of that. That means that bright world in which a person experiences highest bliss, it is called Swarga Rajya or Swarajya. And here this Swarajya is attainable by the contemplation on Brahma, which is of form of utterance. That's why in our tradition, lot of importance has been given to the utterances, the Vyahriti. And now, what are the Vyahriti and how they are to be understood? Let us see. Bhur bhuvas subhariti va etas tisro Vyahritayaha tasam uhasmaitam chaturthim maha chamasyah pravedayate maha iti tad brahma sa atma anga anyanya devata aha bhuriti va ayam lokah bhuva ityantariksham suvarityasau lokah maha ityadityah adityena vava sarve loka mahiyante bhuriti va agnihi bhuva iti vayuhu subharityadityah maha iti chandramaha chandramasa vava sarvani jyoti gumshi mahiyante bhuriti va richaha bhuva iti samani suvariti jugumshi maha iti brahma Brahmana vava sarve veda mahiyante bhuriti vai pranaha bhuva ityapanaha suvariti vyanaha maha ityannam annena vava sarve prana mahiyante tava etas chatasras chaturdha chatasras chatasro vyahritayah tayo veda saveda brahma sarve esmai deva balima vahanti. So this is the fifth Anuvaka of Taittiriya Upanishad. What does it say? It says there are three Vyahritis, there are three utterances, Bhuh, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. And that's why even before chanting the Gayatri mantra, we first utter these Vyahriti. Om Bhur Bhuvah Suvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. So this is the Gayatri mantra, and before this we utter inevitably the three Vyahriti Bhuh, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. So these are the three very popular utterances in the Vedic tradition. One is Bhuh, that is the earth. Bhuvaha, this is the above region of the earth. Suvaha, this is the Swargaha Dyauhu. So these three represent, that means the three Vyahriti represent the three worlds. Tasam uhasmaitam chaturthim mahachamasya pravedayate. And though there were three Vyahriti, a sage known by the name Mahachamasya, he knew a different Vyahriti. That means he added one more Vyahriti to the existing three Vyahriti. What are the three? Bhuh, Bhuvaha, Swaha. And what is the fourth one? Says Tasam Uha Sma Etam Chaturthim. That means to those three Vyahriti, the seer sage Mahachamasya knew a particular fourth Vyahriti and added to that. What is that? Maha iti. He added the fourth Vyahriti as Mahaha. Maha. In Sanskrit, Maha means Pujayam. That means the greatest, the very powerful, that particular reality is called Mahaha. What is that Mahaha? And what does this Vyahriti represent? What does it stand for? Now says Tad Brahma. And that Mahachamasya creation or his addition, this Maha, is nothing but Brahma. And what is that Brahma? Sa Atma. And it is not any other thing. It is this Atma only. It is the self consciousness within. Anga anyanya devata. Then when this Brahma or Maha is in this body, what about all the other devata? That means when Brahmaloka, when all the gods reside there, here when Brahma is in the form of Atma, then where are the other gods? Then Anganyanya devataha. That means all our limbs, they are the gods here. And that's why we have to be very careful while understanding these Vedic texts, because in some contexts the Vedic texts offer some abstruse ideas also. We find in the Bhagavad Gita, for example, Devan bhavayata anena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaf param avapsyatha is a popular shloka. And some commentators like Abhinav Gupta explain the word deva in the sense of sense organs. That means there are philosophers or thinkers or the knowers of Vedic tradition who consider the various limbs as gods, because the word for God is deva, and that word comes from the root div. Div is the root from which various words have been derived, and it has several senses, of course. Divu, krida, swapna, kanti, vijigisha, mada, so many meanings are there. There, when this particular word is taken in the sense of sense organ, that means limb, it means the root is used in the sense of krida. That means devaha kridana shilaha. Then the word deva can be taken as sense organs or our limbs. Because Kridanashila, that means that which play, that which enjoy, rejoice it, they are called Deva. And here he says Anga Anyanya Devataha, that means these limbs are the gods. Now, where are these Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha? The four Vyahruti are to be now explained. For that, he takes for the first one, Bhuhu iti va ayam lokaha. Bhuhu. By this word, one should understand this entire loka, the world, the Martya loka, Manushya loka. This is called Bhuhu. And what about Bhuvaha? The second one, Bhuva ityantariksham. Bhuvaha means the antariksha. What is antariksha in Sanskrit? Antaha rukshani yasmin tat antariksham. So our grammar explains that that particular region which has the stars studied in that particular region is called antariksham. And beyond that, Subharityasau lokaha. And beyond that, there is Swaha. That means the Swargaloka, or the highest bliss, the region of highest bliss, the state of highest bliss is beyond that. Then what about the fourth one, which Mahachamasya added? That is Mahaha. And what is the sense of this Mahaha in this context? Now the text explains Maha Ityadityaha. So above all these, there is Aditya. And the word Maha stands for this Aditya. Now once again we have to understand this word Aditya also in proper sense. What is Aditya? Because Aditya has come from Aditi. And Aditi is a word which is opposite of Diti. Now we have to understand these words very carefully. First, Diti. Diti means what? Diti, it has come from Do Avakhandane Dhatu. That means that which is cutting or breaking. So that is Diti. And whatever is breakable, whatever can be cut into pieces, or whatever has components within, it is called Diti. And opposite of that, the negation of Diti is Aditi. That means indivisible. And it is nothing but atom. Because the word atom in Greek language means indivisible, that which cannot be broken. And this Aditi is basically that atomic energy. This is Aditi. And Aditya is that entity which is born from this. That means whatever is created from this atomic energy, that should be Aditya. And it is very surprising to know that our ancient seers had understood this secret of the universe, and they have named the sun as Aditya only. Because we understand with the help of modern science nowadays that hydrogen is turning into helium in the sun, and every moment lot of energy is being created, and that atomic reaction is taking place on the sun. The nuclear reaction is taking place, and this is called this particular sun, or the gaseous star appearing bright in the sky, is no other than the son of atomic energy. That's why he is Aditya. And now Mahachamasya, the seer, equates this Maha Ityadityaha. That means that particular radiant energy is Aditya. And now you understand that energy with the help of this Bijakshara Mahaha. This is the Vyahruti here. So we understand here Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha. So these are the levels of consciousness. One, Bhuhu, the lowest one, that is the Bhuloka. Then there is Antariksha, that means the second loka, called the upper region. Then third is Suvaha, that is the Swarga, or the place of highest bliss. And beyond that there is Adityaha, and that Aditya is represented by the Vyahruti Mahaha. This is one explanation of that. Now we understand why Aditya is taken as Mahaha, because Maha and Aditya both are to be equated now. The text says itself, Maha means puja, Maha means becoming great, excelling. And here Adityena vava sarve loka mahiyante. It's very beautiful presentation here, that just because of that Aditya, that means it is nothing but nuclear reaction there. And that Aditya, because of that particular Aditya, Sarve Loka Mahiyante, that means all the worlds, that means all the planets in the solar system, all the stars and whatever depends on that particular Aditya, they excel, they marvel, and they get importance because of that. And we now understand with the help of modern science that all the planets in the solar system are attracted towards this. They are actually held by the gravitational force of this one only, and that's why they are not able to get out of the spell of this. They are unable to get out of the axis, and it is just because of the gravitational force there. Not only that, they don't come together, they don't collide with each other. So this is the force there, and just because of this Aditya only, all the bodies, all the luminaries, all the terrestrial bodies are Mahiyante, that means they are prospering, it says. Now the second one, now we can understand in another sense. Bhuritiva Agnihi. Bhuh, take this Vyakriti. Bhuh means Agni. Bhuva iti Vayuhu. Then above that Agni there is Bhuvaha, that is Vayuhu. Subharityadityaha. And above that, if you take Aditya as the sense of word Suvaha, then Maha iti Chandramaha. Then Mahaha, that Bijakshara Vyakriti should be taken to mean Chandramaha. And here it is not the material moon, but Chadi Ahlade, that which is very pleasant. That particular entity is called Chandramaha. So here we have Agni, Vayu, Aditya, and beyond that Chandramaha. Because Chandramavava Sarve, Chandramasavava Sarve Jyoti Gumshi Mahiyante. The text says Chandramasa Vava Sarva Sarvani Jyoti Gumshi Mahiyante. What is that? Sarvani Jyotimshi. That means all the luminary bodies, stars especially, they prosper because of the Chandramas. And again, that we can apply to the Veda also. Take for example, Bhuritiva Archaha. If you take Bhu as Rigveda mantra, then Bhuva iti Samani. Then above that Bhuvaha means Samaveda mantra. Suvariti Yajugumshi. Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha. Suvaha means the Yajurveda mantra. Then above that what? Maha iti Brahma. So here also the fourth Vyakriti represents Brahma. Why? Because Brahmana Vava Sarve Veda Mahiyante. Just because of Brahma, all the Veda, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, all the three Vedas, they become prosperous. That means they get enriched. And what fills energy into all these Veda is only that Brahma. And all the Veda have their entity, have their importance because of that Brahman, the content of those Vedas. Then, Bhu iti vai pranaha. If you take in the body, the Bhu means pranaha. That means that particular vital breath which moves from this place to above. That means between the Hridaya and Nasika, the Vayu is called prana. Bhuva ityapanaha. That means that particular air which passes downwards is called apana. Subhariti vyanaha. Suvaha is the Vyakriti for Vyana. Vyana is a kind of Vayu in the body which spreads throughout the body. Maha ityannam. So when prana, apana, vyana, three types of breaths are taken here. Maha, the fourth Vyakriti is for annam. So we take that particular Vyakriti to mean annam, that food, that particular food which gives energy, which is taken inside and which is converted into energy, that is called annam. Annena vava sarve prana mahiyante. Because of that particular food, all the vital breath, prana, apana, vyana, they become important, they get prosperous, and they function. So for the very function of all the kinds of vital breath here, Annam is required. Therefore, the Vyahriti Maha stands for Anna. And this way we have Etas Chatasraha Chaturdha. Etas Chatasraha Chaturdha. That means Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha. The four Vyahriti, each has been explained already, that Bhuritvai Agnihi, Bhuvaitu Vayuhu, Suvarityaditya, etc. So this way, each one will have fourfold classification further. Chatasras Chatasro Vyahृtayaha. This way, the four Vyahriti are again fourfold. Tayo Veda Saveda Brahma. It's in fact one who knows properly the four Vyahriti, he knows the Brahman. That means the very invention of this particular sage, Mahachamasya, is that Mahaha is a very important contribution to the existing philosophy, that Mahaha is the Brahman, and you know only the three Vyahriti. But Mahachamasya says, I add one more Vyahriti to that, and it is the Brahman. And that Brahman is no other than Atman in the body. Sarve esmai deva balima vahanti. So one who knows this particular essence of the Veda as Mahaha, all the gods will offer whatever is to be offered to him. That means they make all offerings to that particular person who knows this Vyahriti. So this is a very beautiful exposition of the Vyahriti Mahaha. And now we have seen the fifth Anuvaka, original text, and now we see what does Adi Shankaracharya has to say. Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha iti ukta upada pradarshanaarthaha. That means Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha, these are the Vyahriti. Iti, that particular word added to that, means whatever I have shown, so these are the Vyahriti. Etas tisraha iti cha pradarshitana paramarshartha. So in the original text we find Bhur Bhuva Suvaha iti va etas tisraha. So this particular one, etas tisraha, refers to Vyahriti. Paramrishtaha smaryante va ityanena. In the original text, when he says Suvariti va etas tisro, so what does the word va mean? Generally, in classical Sanskrit, the word va means optional, or. But here, Shankara Bhagavatpada explains the word va is not to be taken in the sense of option, but it is whatever has already been explained, that is referred to here. That means Bhuhu Bhuvaha Suvaha iti eta va. So this particular word va connects to the previous one, whatever has been given there. Tisraha etaha prasiddha vyahritayaha smaryante tavat. That means va, it reminds us of the three popular Vyahriti. Tasamiyam chaturdhim Vyahrtir Mahaha iti. So of all the three, there are three Vyahriti of course, and the fourth Vyahriti is being added, Mahaha. Tam etam chaturthim Mahachamasya apatyam Mahachamasya pravedayate. So Shankaracharya explains that this Mahachamasya is the name of a sage. It is a word derived from Mahachamas. And who is that? Mahachamas is name of a sage, and his son is known as Mahachamasya. And he knows the fourth Vyahriti as Mahaha. Now, Mahachamasya pravedayate. Here, three nipata are used. U, ha, sma. These are the three nipata. Nipata generally are expletive. They don't have any particular meaning. Sometimes they express, but sometimes they don't carry any separate meaning. Sometimes the commentators explain that the nipata are anarthakaha nipataha. That means in that particular context, these words do not carry any special meaning. Thus also they explain. But here, u is generally used to address somebody. U. We find in the Kumara Sambhava of Kalidasa, Umeti matra tapaso nishiddha, Umeti akhyam sumukhi jagama. We understand why Parvati was called Uma. Because when Parvati decided to marry Parameshwara, and when she was about to leave her father place and to practice penance somewhere on the Himalaya, then her mother stopped her saying U and said Ma. That means don't go. So these two words are taken, two letters are taken, U, Ma. That means, hey, my daughter, don't go for penance. So that sense is carried by U, Ma, and thus the word is created Uma. That is name of Parvati. Here also we find U, and there Sma and Ha. When three are combined, U, Ha, Sma. Generally, when Sma is added to any verb, it means past. Gacchati means goes. When we say Gacchati Sma, went. So naturally, by adding this word Sma to any verbal form, we can make it into past form. So it is the simplest way of adding this Sma to the present tense form and making it past. So here, Sma is there, but does it mean any past sense? Now Shankaracharya explains, Etesham vruttanu Generally, these nipata in any context mean vruttanu kathanartham. That means they narrate something that took place some time back. And here, viditavan dadarsha ityartha. So he asks us to understand the word in the sense of he knew, he saw. So in this way, the three are to be taken combinedly. Mahachamasya grahanam arshanusmaranartham. So why has he taken the Mahachamasya name? That is a kind of adara. That is, he says, Mahachamasya grahanam arsha anusmaranartham. So it is only to remind us that it has come down to us from the sages. That is arsha. So whatever he said, it is not that Mahachamasya was only a common man, but this name in this particular Anuvaka indicates that Mahachamasya was a sage. So arsha anusmaranartham. Rushis api upasanangam iti gamyate iha upadeshat. And from this it is implied that the mention of the name of sage is also auxiliary, a part of upasana. That means when a person intends to practice some penance or practice some japa, etc., it is very important that he knows the name of the Rishi. That's why while performing the Gayatri Japa, we remember Vishwamitra Rishi, and similarly Buddha Kaushika Rishi, etc. All these sages have been remembered for their contribution in the form of that particular mantra. And therefore here also, when the exposition of Maha is being made, it is very, it is mandatory, or we can say it is important for us to know the name of the sage, and he is Mahachamasya, and for that purpose only the name is mentioned here. Yeyam Mahachamasyena drushta vyahritihi mahaiti. That means whatever vyahriti has been known by Mahachamasya sage, what is that? It is Tad Brahma. It is Brahma. Mahadhi Brahma and Mahascha Vyahritihi. So he says two things are there. Why it is equated? Because Mahaccha Brahma, and this Brahman is also Mahaha. That means highly worshipable and highly revered. That is the Brahman. And Mahascha Vyahritihi, and the Vyahriti too is worshipable. Therefore Maha is equated with Brahman. Kim Punastat, and what is that Brahman? And Sa Atma, that Brahman is manifest in the form of this Atman. Atman is self. What is this Atman? Apnotehe vyapti karmanaha Atma. The word Atma is derived in the sense of that which pervades. So the pervading reality, the pervading energy in the body is called Atma. Apnotehe karmanaha. And another, apnoti means obtaining also, that which obtains. That's why in Mundaka Upanishad Bhashya also we find the etymological meaning of the word apnoti. Yadadatte yachapnoti vishayaniha tasmat atmeti kathyate. That means adatte, apnoti. So on this basis only this particular energy is called Atma, because being in the body through the senses, it gets the knowledge of the world outside. It takes everything, it enjoys everything. So because of that particular nature, it is called Atma in Sanskrit. And it further goes, the commentary, it says, Itarascha vyahritayah loka deva vedaha pranascha maha ityanena vyahrityatmana aditya chandra brahmanna bhutena vyapyante yataha ataha anganyavayava anya devataha. So all the other, that is bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha, the three vyahriti, they are in the form of loka, deva, veda, prana. So all the other, they are pervaded, they are nourished, and they are strengthened by one particular vyahriti called Maha. So just because of Maha, all the other get their life. Because Aditya is there, all the luminaries get their energy. Because Chandramas is there, all the other get their energy. Because Brahma is there, all the Veda get their energy. Because Anna is there, all the Prana get their energy. So this way, the Maha stands for all this. What are they? They are Aditya, Chandra, Brahma, Anna. So these are the four represented by the word Maha. Vyapyante. All the other are pervaded, nourished by this one only. Ataha. Because of this fact, all the other are called the Anganyanya Devataha. They are only supportive. They are only additions to this. That means they are not main. They are all nourished by this Maha. Devata Grahanam Upalakshanartham Lokadinam. So when you say Anganyanya Devataha, so what about Lokaha, Pranaha, etc.? He says this word is indicative of the other. That means with a word you can take all the other words also. Though they are not directly mentioned here, you can take by this word itself. Maha ityetasya vyahrityatmanaha devalokadayah sarve avayubhutaha yataha ataha aha adityadi bhirlokadayo mahiyante iti aha. So we understand, because Maha, this particular reality in the form of this Maha Vyahriti, Devalokadayah sarve avayubhutaha. So all the other have become subordinate to that. Therefore, aha adityadibhi lokadayo mahiyante iti. So that's why the sage has explained here that because of Aditya and others, the other luminaries have been nourished. Atmanohi angani mahiyante. So it is but natural that because of the energy called self, all the other sense organs get their energy, they become alive. Otherwise there will not be any operation at all. They become inactive. So all the words, all the Veda, all the luminaries, they get their energy, they draw their energy from this Vyahriti called Maha. Mahiyante. What is the meaning? Mahiyante means Vardhante ityarthaha. Mahanam vruddhir upachayah. Maha pujayam. It means upachaya. Upachaya means growth. It is nourishment. And here mahyate, mahiyante becomes vardhante. That means they grow, they prosper. That's the meaning. Ayam lokaha agnihi rigvedaha pranaha iti prathama vyahritihi bhuhu. So when the word bhuhu is uttered, it means this word Agni, Rigveda and Prana. These four. Evam Uttarottara Ekaika Chaturdha Bhavati. So this way we have to understand the other also. So when he says Bhuritiva Ayam Lokaha, and later on he goes to the mantra that is Bhuritiva Agnihi. So there we have to understand Bhu means Agni. Then Bhuvaha will be, in the first one it will be Antariksha, second it is Vayu, then it is Sama, then thereafter it is Vyana. So this way we have to understand Uttarottara, that means further in the order. Maha iti Brahma, but in all this Mahaha, that Vyahruti means Brahma. Brahma iti, what is that Brahma? It is Omkaraha. So everywhere in the Upanishads, Omkara, the Pranava, is regarded as the only word which stands for Brahma. Therefore, Maha iti Brahma, when he says, it is Omkara only. Shabdadhikare anyasya asambhavat uktartham anyat. Because Shabda adhikare anyasya asambhavat. Because in the context of Shabda, no other meaning is possible here. Therefore, we take the Vyahruti Mahaha in the sense of Omkara only. And that Omkara gives lot of energy to all the worlds, to all the Veda and to all the luminaries. Now, Tava etas chatasraha chaturdha iti. Now, the four Vyahruti have been further classified into four. So, each Vyahruti will have four senses. Tava eta bhuh, bhuvaha, suvaha, mahaha, iti chatasraha. So these are the four Vyahruti. Ekaikashaha chaturdha chadushprakaraha. So again, each Vyahruti will have four classifications. How? Chaturdha. So the pratyaya dha with the word chatur means prakara vachanaha. So Shankaracharya explains why he has taken the word as prakara, because the participle added, the suffix added to the word chatur is in that sense only, prakara. Chatasras chatasraha satyaha chaturdha bhavanti. So naturally the four Vyahruti will have four prakara, four types further. Tasam yadha kluptanam punar upadeshaha tadhaiva upasana niyamarthaha. So this way, why has he given the word twice? Chatasras chatasraha chaturdha. So what is the need of repeating the word here? Now Shankara Bhagavad-pada explains, Tasam yadha kluptanam punarupadeshaha. That means the second mention of these Vyahruti is upasana niyamarthaha, is to regulate our upasana. That means to make a condition in the upasana that there are four Vyahruti and they are to be worshipped in four ways only. Taha yadhokta Vyahrutihi yo Veda. That means one who knows the four Vyahruti, Saveda Vijanati. He really knows what? Brahma. That means whoever knows this particular kind of Vyahruti knows the Brahman. Yo Veda Saveda Brahma. Now a doubt arises. Tad Brahma sa Atma iti jnate Brahmani. Now already you have said that Maha iti Brahma. Maha iti. First he said that fourth Vyahruti is Maha. Tad Brahma. He already equated that Maha is taken as Brahman. Sa Atma. Then he has taken it as Atma. Now the Brahman being already explained, what is the use of knowing it further? That means already he has known that Maha as Brahman. So Tad Brahma sa Atma iti jnate Brahmani, that Brahman being known as that, na vaktavyam avijnatavat saveda brahmeti. So it need not be told further that one whoever knows this particular Maha as Brahman, he knows everything, etc. That need not be stated separately. Now, answer for this. Shankara Bhagavad-pada answers, Na. That means, no. This knowing Brahman and Tad Brahma, both are different. Tad Vishesha Vivakshutvat Adoshaha. Now we can understand that, okay, that Brahma is already known, but it's at the end of that he says, one who knows the Brahman will get all the prosperity, etc. So because here Vishesha Vivakshutvat means that Tad Vishesha Vivakshutvat, that means with a desire to state the particular fruit of, particular result of that particular Brahman, he has given here. Satyam Vijnatam Chaturdha Vyahrityatma Brahmeti Natu Tad Vishesho Hridayantar Upalabhyatvam Manomayatvadi. Naturally, generally it is known that Maha Vyahriti stands for Brahma, but it is not known particularly. That means very distinctly that what is the Brahma, the place of Brahma, the abode of Brahma, and the result of knowing Brahma, etc. That is not distinctly stated in the Anuvaka. So it is generally stated that it is Maha and it is Brahma and it is Atma, etc. But it is not particularly specifically stated here. Hridayanta Rupalabhyastvam Manomayattvadicha. So, and that Brahman is in the is within in the form of that Manomaya, that means mind, and it is the Hridayanta Upalabhya. That means that Brahman is realized within our heart. That means within ourselves. It is not something that can be obtained from outside, that can be realized from outside also. Shanti Samruddham Ityevam Antaha Visheshana Vishesharupo Dharmapugo Na Vijnayate Iti Tad Vivakshuhi. So, in the second, that means next Anuvaka, that is sixth Anuvaka, he will be explaining to us Shanti Samruddham Amrutam Iti Prachina Yo Bhasva. So that will be there. That particular Brahman, it is Shanti Samruddham, Amrutam, Mana Aramam, etc. These are the adjectives of that Brahman. Now he says, Shanti Samruddham Ityevam Antaha Visheshana Vishesha Rupo Dharmapugaha Na Vijnayate Iti Tadvivakshu. That means that Brahman is normally known here, Tad Brahma, but it is not clearly known with the adjectives which are to be stated in the next Anuvaka. So here it is general presentation, and the particular presentation of Brahman will be made in the next sixth Anuvaka. So here Tad Vivakshu, so with a desire to state the particular characteristics of Brahman, this Anuvaka proceeds. Shastram Avijnatamiva Brahma Matva Saveda. So without knowing that particular characteristic of Brahman, the knowledge or realization is not complete. So Avijnatamiva, it will be as good as not known. Therefore, Brahma Matva Saveda Brahma. The Upanishad says, one who knows that Brahman, one who knows this Vyahriti, knows the Brahman. Saveda Brahma iti uvacha. So thus it says, Ataha nadoshaha. Thus there will not be any defect in this particular part. Yohi vakshamanena dharmapugena visishtam brahma veda saveda brahma. That means, Yohi, whoever knows the Brahman in the way it is expounded in the next Anuvaka, he alone knows it in the true sense, not others. That means even if others know the Brahman, it is not complete. The person who knows it in the way it is expounded here, he alone knows it truly. Ataha vakshamana anuvakena ekavakyata asya. And we have to understand here that there is ekavakyata. That means a kind of sentential unity. That means two separate sentences are to be connected to derive a particular connected sense. That is called ekavakyata. There will be avantara vakya, but when they serve a single purpose, then those two sentences are to be combined, and this particular combination makes them one sentence, and that one sentence gives out a particular sense. Therefore here this Anuvaka and the next sixth Anuvaka, they come together and they form one single sentence. Ekavakyatam apannaha. What do they say? Ubhayohi anuvakayoho ekam upasanam. Now, because this particular Anuvaka is combined with the next Anuvaka, we have to understand, that's what Shankaracharya explains, that the upasana or worship mentioned here is one in both the Anuvaka. That means fifth and sixth Anuvaka lay out one particular upasana worship. That means the fifth Anuvaka gives out various Vyahriti and ultimately says that the fourth Vyahriti called Mahaha, that is actually to be known as the Brahman, and whoever knows that as Brahman, in what form? In the form in which it is explained in the next sixth Anuvaka. So that Brahma in the fifth Anuvaka is general and the Brahman in the sixth Anuvaka is particular. Thus these two come together and form one particular upasana, and one whoever worships that kind of Brahma alone gets the result. Not only this is one way of explaining the combination, but there is another thing, lingacha. Shankara Bhagavad-pada explains that this can be understood on the basis of linga. What is linga? In Sanskrit literature we find lingam means indication. A particular, in Mimamsa context of course it is samarthya, the very potency, but here it can be taken simply as an indication. So from the indication also we understand that the upasana mentioned in the two Anuvakas is single. Bhurityagno pratitishthati ityadikam lingam upasana ekatve. Now he says bhuh ityagno pratitishthati. So in the Shashta Anuvaka we find in the beginning itself bhuva iti vayo suvarityaditye maha iti brahmani apnooti swarajyam. This is going to be explained further. So bhurityagno pratitishthati, and already he said in the previous Anuvaka, that is fifth Anuvaka, he said bhuritiva agnihi. So Shankara Bhagavad-pada tries to bring our attention to this particular important point, that in the fifth Anuvaka there is bhuriti agnihi, he said. That means the Vyahriti bhuhu stands for Agni. But in the next sixth Anuvaka, he has clearly mentioned, that means the seer of the Taittiriya Upanishad clearly mentions, it is Bhurityagno pratitishthati. So here bhuhu, the upasana is stated, and Agno pratitishthati, the result is mentioned in the sixth. Thus fifth and sixth Anuvaka, they form one sentence only, and the upasana is also one. That means whatever is to be practiced or meditated upon is one from the two Anuvakas. Vidhayaka abhavacha. And another important point to be noted here is Vidhayaka abhava. That means there is no other injunction here. That means that separate factor which enjoins something separately is not to be found here. Therefore we have to take the upasana as single only. Nahi Veda upasitavyaha iti vidhayakaha kaschit chandosti. He says Veda and upasitavya, there is no such word. In both the Anuvaka we don't find you should know like this, you should worship like this. So this kind of injunction is not to be found in the two Anuvaka. So because of the absence of that particular word, we cannot take any injunction in the two Anuvaka. Now what we have to understand, the only way is fifth and sixth Anuvaka are to be connected. Both have single upasana for their subject, and the absence of words like Veda upasita, upasitavya, etc. make the upasana single. No such word is found. Vyahriti Anuvake, but of course one may say that there is the word Veda in the fifth as Tayo Veda, Saveda, Brahma, etc. So the word Veda is there. Anuvake Tayo Veda iticha Vakshamana Arthatvat na Upasana Bhedakaha. So, okay, in the fifth one you have a word Veda, but this word cannot make the Upasana separate. That means on account of this particular word, you cannot say that this Upasana is different from the Upasana mentioned in the sixth one. Both the Upasanas, if anybody says the two Upasanas are different, it is not correct. Because the word Veda, though being used in the fifth Anuvaka, is not in this sense. It is to refer to the Brahma mentioned in the sixth Anuvaka only. Thus, the words of fifth Anuvaka refer to the Brahma of the sixth Anuvaka. Therefore, both the Anuvaka are combined and they are to be understood in the sense of one single Upasana. So that is the idea here. Vakshamana arthatvat na Upasana bhedakaha. So the word Veda cannot differentiate the Upasana, cannot state that there are two Upasana, it's only single. Vakshamanarthatvam cha tad vishesha vivakshutvat ityadina uktam. Vakshamanarthatvam. So tad visheshna vivakshuttvadina. So we have already explained to you what is that Vakshamana Riti, what is intended to be stated further. It is nothing but the special characteristics of Brahman are intended to be propounded in the next Anuvaka, and that is actually the purpose of mentioning that in the fifth also. Sarve Deva Asmai Balima Vahanti. So now Shankara Bhagavad explains this particular sentence. Sarve Devaha Asmai. That means all the gods, all the luminaries. What do they do? Asmai. Who? Evam Vidushaha. Evam Vidushe. This is fourth case. Asmai Evam Vidushe. That means one who knows or realizes in this way the true nature of the Vyakriti, the importance of Mahaha, and the great meaning of Mahaha as Brahma. So whoever really knows this particular secret of this Vyakriti, Angabhuta, so all the other gods become only subsidiaries to this particular person, and they avahanti. What? Balim. Balim avahanti. That means they make offerings to that particular knower of Brahman. How? Swarajya prapto satyam ityartha. Shankara Bhagavad adds one more to this. Swarajya prapto satyam. That means only when that person attains the region or the state called Swarajya. That means it is the kingdom of heaven. So only when a person raises himself to that particular level, that is the kingdom of heaven, then all the gods become subservient to him and they offer everything to him only. So thus it is actually the eulogy of that particular person who knows the Vyakriti, true nature of Vyakriti. And here we have to note a particular point, that in the beginning there were only three Vyakriti. People used to follow the Vyakriti, people used to give importance and even interpret those Vyakriti in that sense. But I feel that Mahachamasya was the sage who delivered, or you can say who thought, analyzed about this particular Vyakriti, and I think he realized the cosmic reality as Brahman, and for that Brahman he must have coined the word Maha. So it is the very creation of Mahachamasya, that Vyakriti Maha. Because when people remained at the lower level, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, so till this particular level, when they had known the reality, perhaps it was Mahachamasya who tried to open their eyes to further reality beyond all this. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, and beyond that there is some reality, and it is called Mahaha, and it is Brahma. And this way, if we understand these Vyakriti, I think we can come very close to the heart of the sages, because the three Vyakriti being practiced in the world, There is no need of adding one more Vyahruti to that. Parantu, here Mahachamasya sage must have felt the need of enabling people realize that cosmic reality as Brahman, and he tries to open our eyes to that particular reality, Mahaha, Brahma. And further, of course, this can be taken as a seed of Advaita also, that he further equates this Mahaha with Atma. Now, if we read the text, that Mahaha, Tad Brahma, Sa Atma. So three things are there. First is Mahaha, that is the fourth Vyahruti added by Mahachamasya, that is his creation. Then we have equation of that Maha iti Tad Brahma. Then second is equating that Mahaha with Brahman. That means the cosmic reality is to be understood as being represented by the Vyahruti Mahaha. Now, there is Advaita here further, that Brahman is not different from the Atma. Atma cha Brahma, that is Shankaracharya's very famous theory. And here, Mahachamasya, I feel, he equates that Brahman which pervades the entire universe and which manifests in the form of the world and which is called as Brahman is no other than Atman. That means the soul, the energy passing throughout the body, the energy which enables a person to react to the world, that particular Atman is no other than Brahma. So we can understand Tad Brahma, Sa Atma. So there is a kind of identity between Brahma and Atma mentioned in this particular part of the Anuvaka. And one more thing, that Mahachamasya had of course added this particular Vyahruti Mahaha, but it did not stop there. We find here that Mahaha has been explained at various levels. We try to see the mantra there. The first one, Maha iti. So when he says Mahaha, you see there, first he says Adityaha. So at the first level, Maha is equated with Aditya. At the second level, Maha is equated with Chandramaha. At the third level, Maha is equated with Brahma, and ultimately it is equated with Anna. So we have to understand the four significant senses of this particular word Mahaha. So thus we have learnt today the contribution of Mahachamasya from the Anuvaka, that Mahachamasya must have been a kind of scientist in those days, because he realized the cosmic reality that pervades the entire universe, and that's why he tried to give us a Vyahruti in the form of Mahaha, and through this Vyahruti he wanted all the mankind understand the reality in the form of Aditya, Chandrama, Anna, and etc. And further research is to be made in this regard, in this direction, so that the contribution of Mahachamasya can be thoroughly appreciated, I feel. So with this, we stop this class. This is the fifth Anuvaka, and in our next class, we will understand the sixth Anuvaka. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.